Good evening, everyone. This is Pastor Lon out of Homesteading Pastor, along with my wife Robbie Lynn, Mrs. Homesteading Pastor. Hello. Glad to have everybody to join us this afternoon or this evening before I come sit a spell, and just wanted to get on here, and we got another topic we want to talk about. I know somebody made comments about
Yelling every time.
about different topics that we come up with, but with Mother's Day this coming Sunday, we wanted to talk about the value. I jotted down a few things here. We want to talk about the net worth, or a mother's net worth, or the net worth of a mother. You know, you see these athletes and stuff, whether it be race car drivers or ball players, baseball, basketball, whatever, you always see about their net worth, how much they are dollar amount. But a mother's worth, net worth, you can't even put a price tag on that because it's priceless, and there's no value greater than no value great enough money wise to put a price tag on a mother's worth. But I would like to say that I've preached this before and encouraged people to think about this. Every woman that has a child is not a mother. And that's not casting any stones or being judgmental. That's the facts. That's the truth. But we got a couple things jotted down here. We want to talk about mothers. Robbie's mother is still living. She's still here with us, but mine passed away back in 2015. And I'm going to share some things about her, a few little stories about her during this video. But a couple things I wanted to talk about for us, the sacrifices that mothers make. And I know I've seen mine make those sacrifices. I'm sure you've seen yours make those, and even our grannies and grandparents have made those sacrifices. But some of the sacrifices that a real mother would make, and when I get into this, some of the stuff's probably going to jog your memory. You may still have your mother here with you, you may not, but either way you got memories. So, and my encouragement to you would be, if you do have your mother with you, to cherish her, because I was telling Robin Lynn earlier, there's a song, if I could hear my mother pray again, I would love to hear my mother pray again. I'd love to see my mom be able to sing in the choir again. But that's something I'll never experience here on earth anymore. Hope to be reunited in heaven one day. But if you have your mother this coming Mother's Day, spend some time with her and let her know how much you love and appreciate her, because in my opinion, a mother's love is the next best thing, or the next thing in line to God's love, because it's unconditional. But some of the sacrifices, and Robert Lynn jump in here with me on this, some of the sacrifices that a real mother makes, and let me get my eyes out. Some of the sacrifices that a real mother makes is she would do without to serve everyone else, or to make sure everyone else has been taken care of. Gavin, get her. She also puts herself last instead of first, and she makes sure everybody else is fed, and taken care of. And most mothers will go without even buying new clothes for themselves to make sure that their children have decent clothes to wear. And back in the day, they made the clothes back then, and she probably.
Mama used to make clothes for us when we were small.
Yeah, but lots of times they would stay up long hours and you wouldn't even realize they'd be up making clothes for you. That's just some of the sacrifices a mother makes. Now, just to hear, it's got a little bit of humor to it with Robbie Lynn, because I had jotted down here when she read it. I said it a while ago, she started laughing a little bit. But most of the time, a mother...
I started laughing a lot.
A mother is the first one up in the morning and the last one to go to bed. Now, around here, I'm the morning person. She's the night person or whatever. But she's always the last one, pretty much, to go to bed. But all throughout the day, Robbie worked for 32 years in the medical field as a medical transcriptionist. But now she works at home. And we've had people, even in family, that's what you do all day. But if they could follow her around for a day, not even a day, a couple hours, with what she takes care of in this house, cleaning, cooking, taking care of Bad and Michaela. We got two special needs kids, as well as Corey and Gavin, our other two, next to the oldest and the youngest, that don't have any health
My
issues.
oldest one.
And then her oldest big child right here, this is probably her biggest chore. but she takes very good care of all of us, and for that I am grateful to be married to a woman that takes care of me and takes care of our kids like she does. And you said something earlier about hoping they get that they treat their
Wife like he treats them.
I just want to hear you say that again. No, I'm just speaking. But not really, I'm not. But I mean, I think about it. Most sons will treat their wife like they see their dad treat their mom. Most of them do. That's why we always should be setting a good example. But that's some of the things about sight, and there's many more. We're just running through a few things here for the sake of time. But you can think of so much more that your mama sacrificed for you when you were younger, and I can too. And I'm gonna share a few things about some stories about my mom in a minute. But also another thing about a good godly mother, especially a godly, there are a lot of good moms out there, and all of them may not be Christians. I mean, the best scenario would be to have a good godly mother that feared the Lord. And we're going to talk about what a godly mother looks like here in just a moment, some of the characteristics of her. But a good mother in general is, like I said, the next best thing to God's love, and she also loves expecting nothing in return, and she always loves her children no matter what they have done in life. It may hurt the mom, it may embarrass the mom, many things that a child could do, but that does not change her love for her child. That's why I can compare that to the love of Jesus Christ, because no matter how bad we are, he still loves us. You know, he still wants us to come into him, wants us to follow him. So
he'll still spank you though.
He will. He'll still give you a good old spanking, take you to the woodshed, but he still loves you. The Bible,
if you love your child,
you'll chastise him. That's exactly right. One of the scriptures we had written down here was, and I'd encourage you, and most of you know anything about the Bible, Proverbs 31 is a great chapter to read in God's Word. But Proverbs 31:10 says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies." You know, that is so true today. A virtuous woman, a good woman, they're hard to find these days, just like good men are hard to find these days too. We've said plenty of times before, we'd hate to know that we were out, you know, having to find another mate in this day and time we live in. Not throwing any stones again, but you know, they're hard to come by.
The shoe fits, wear it.
Preach it then, sister. That's the truth. If shoe fits, wear it. So some of the things about a godly mother that we wrote down here is a godly mother, and you can find a lot of this, the scriptures to go along with this, and like I said, in Proverbs 31. But she seeks knowledge and wisdom on how to handle situations that may arise or come up in the home. That's so true. A godly mother will try to come up with the wisdom and the knowledge and know how to handle situations before it gets out of hand in the home. She also fears the Lord with everything within her. You know, and the Bible teaches us that, you know, that's the beginning of knowledge, and you fearing the Lord and respecting him. Wisdom and knowledge. So there's a lot in chapter 31 of Proverbs that'll really speak to you. She's content with what God blesses her with. Elaborate on that. Just think about it. She cares for her home.
I'm content.
Yes, she is content. She cares for her home, not just the structure inside, but home. But, you know, this would be just a house.
Well, I think
without
what they're talking about is like a woman wants to take care of and represent her husband well too. As far as like, if you were to bring somebody into your home, you don't want it.
You want it clean and tidy and looking
She
good.
wants to make a good impression.
True. I can understand that.
I mean,
but
I know, I'm not saying it has to be
spotless.
spotless,
Yeah. But this house is lived in,
Yeah,
but it's
right.
clean, and and she takes very good care of the house inside and out, and takes care of all of us, like I said earlier. But she's content with what she has, and she takes care of her home. And a good godly mother is trustworthy. She serves her family. I know Rob Lynn does that. You know, my mom.
Trustworthy. Let's elaborate there.
Okay.
I was reading in that scripture, and it's like, when a wife is trustworthy, the husband can go about his, you know, daily chores or whatever, and knowing that he has nothing to fear because he can trust his wife.
Mhm.
If you got a wife you can't trust, then that makes for a miserable life.
True.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
If you got trust, then you can go about with peace in your heart, knowing that you don't have to worry about a wife at home or somewhere else doing what she ain't got no business doing.
True. Well, that scripture says in Proverbs 31, verse 26 through 28 says, "She openeth her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her." So, the Bible talks about, the wife submitting to the husband, but also the husband to the wife, and meaning the trustworthiness, and you have respect one for another, and you kind of, there's a word I'm looking for there, and it won't come to me, but you complement one another, with the way you live your life according to the gospel. But if you got your mother, that's something that you need to cherish. And again, I can't stress that enough. This coming Mother's Day, I would love to be able to sit with my mother, or take her some flowers, or just have some time to spend with her.
Did you do that one?
Which one?
Gives her kids back to God?
I did not. I would slam over. Serves the family well.
Gives her kids back to God.
Gives her kids back to the Lord. How many times you ever heard, especially the older mothers, would say, "I've left that child on the altar. I've dedicated it back into the Lord." And we dedicate kids all the time at Flat Creek. But that's godly mother will dedicate and give her children back to God from whence they came, and she also serves the Lord with gladness and with fear, and with a reverent fear. You want to say?
I don't have a problem or an issue with submitting to my husband.
As he
Some
submits.
people might, but I know there's some women that say, "I ain't gonna do this and I ain't gonna do that," but if you do what God says do and you honor the Lord, then you're gonna submit to your husband, and it won't be a problem when he's where he's supposed to be with God. It's not hard to submit.
Well, I feel like when the man's where he needs to be, it makes it easier for the wife to be like she's supposed to be too, for the Lord. But enough about that. We'll move on. If you have any thoughts on any of that we've already said thus far, please mention it. But before I go to this, I want to, you reckon they can see this? My wife was featured in the She magazine. I don't know if you can see this very. I'll try to get too close. And it's got a picture here of her and the kids. And why is Corey not in that one?
He was at
He was
college.
in college. It's got a picture of her and the kids. Now, well, you can see that. Corey was in college.
There's like 4 pages.
And it's got pictures of Robbie and the kids, Robbie Lynn and her goat here on the farm, on the homestead. Another picture right here of her and all the kids. And it's got a lot of stuff in it. It says about her. Huh? I didn't see that one. Oh, I missed all those. Man, it's got another one there of her with Eli on the front porch. No way you can see that. And it's got another one here of the horses. Her holding her eggs. I know this is not very good pictures, y'all, but
It was a Mother's Day edition.
yeah, it was a Mother's Day edition back in 2018. And I'm going to read some of the things here that they had written in here about her. It says, they quoted Robbie as saying, "I feel God has given each of us one body, and He expects us to take care of it. He has placed everything we need on this earth to help take care of our bodies if we will only use what He has given us." That's so true. He's blessed us with so many things on this earth to take care of our bodies, and we need to do exactly that. Another thing here that they quoted her saying was, she said, "Sometimes I look back at what we went through, and I am in awe at how God worked out everything so perfectly." And He did. I mean, it's amazing how He worked everything out like He did. And I was just so proud that they had honored her in the She magazine. pretty much takes a lot, in my opinion, of special people to end up in something like that, and they picked the right gal, all I can tell. But it really was a good it's a good magazine, and it just featured everything that she does.
It tells about every one of the children.
Yeah.
What we went through with every one of the children, and then this was right after we moved out here, and it told about that story, about us moving and stuff.
But it was a lot of good information about her and the kids, and her and myself, and the homestead, and what went through each one of the kids, like you said. So it was really a big deal to us, and still is to me.
Influenced that love for gardening.
Love for gardening, yep. Her granddaddy was. She used to walk behind her granddaddy. I know we talk about mothers, but she used to walk behind her granddaddy, and when she was real young, planting the garden, instead of putting it in the seed in the hole that he dug with the hoe, she would put the seed in his footprints, right? And
he used to let me, when I got big enough, he taught me how to plow with that mule.
Yeah.
Not a real mule.
A mule like we got now. Well, you might see that on a future video.
Also, you can go online, and this magazine is online, and they got a Facebook page, She Magazine, SHE magazine.com. And they got a Facebook page if you want. I don't know if you could go back and, you could probably go back and look at.
You could go back and read old stories.
They got a lot of good stuff in here though.
Yeah, there's a lot of other.
There's several different mothers featured in this one.
But you can go back and read the whole story about Robbie's story in this one, and then maybe it'll bless you. But that was a big deal to us back then, and we really couldn't believe they was going to feature in there, and they did. That really was pretty cool.
You can subscribe to it too. $75 a year.
Yeah. It's got a lot of inspirational stories in it. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, it's Christian based.
It's Christian based, and Robbie was just another inspirational story that they added to it. But along with the mothers, the value of a mother, I had a few stories I wanted to share, brief stories of my mom. When I was in kindergarten, she would,
long time ago,
she would take me and drop me off at kindergarten, and I'd be crying. I mean, I'd be just crying, slinging snot, just crying. Well, that's what I was doing. And she would leave, and a mother's love, well, that wasn't good enough. She couldn't leave me crying, and she would come back to check on me, peep in the door or in the window or something, and I would see her, and I'd go running out and grab her on her leg. And Daddy said many times she couldn't get me off her leg, and she'd come out to the car and be dragging me on her leg out to the car. That's some funny stories that I remember. I don't really remember all that, but that he tells me about. I remember going to that school, but I just don't remember coming and dragging out on her leg like that. Daddy said I did, so I probably did. He's like I would have been. I was like, hey, leave them. They'll quit crying. They'll get over it. But mothers are not like that. That's the difference. Another thing that I remember about her, we went fishing down the Lumber River. It's a black river here, a Blackwater River, and you had a lot of redbreast and brim and catfish and stuff. My mama loved to fish, and Daddy put us over on a little island while he fished out in the boat. Me and my brother were real small, and Mama, we caught a bunch of fish. Back then, you put them on a fish stringer, and she stringed them out, was stringing them up. And she had, I don't know how many she had, on a lot of big old nice redbreast, and she had that thing stuck down in the sand, and we weren't paying any attention. But the last time we put a fish on it to the next time we got ready to put a fish on, and she caught another one, and we looked, the stringer was gone. I'm talking about a stringer full of fish. And man, we got all upset about that, and my daddy wasn't too happy about it. Well, my mom was throwing the rod and reel out there, and she kept fishing, and all of a sudden she felt something, thought she was on a root, started reeling it back in, and believe it or not, it was that whole stringer of fish. She hooked them and brought those fish back to the bank. And as far as I can remember, she didn't lose a one off of it, so that was amazing. And they got my daddy off our back anyway. So me and my brother, we should have been paying attention while my mama was fishing, and we should have.
If anybody, your daddy or anybody needed any electrical, anything figured out, they brought it to her.
Yeah, she was good at figuring out electrical stuff, plumbing stuff, mechanic stuff.
She pretty much done the stuff around
She did. She was, well, we would do a lot of it, but she was the wisdom and the knowledge of it when it comes to stuff like that. I mean, she could figure anything out. Another thing she would do when our kids came along, my brother's kids, my sister's kids, all of her grandkids.
I was gonna say too, that's one good thing I had as far as when I had my children. None of our children ever had to go to daycare. When Bradley was born, my aunt kept him at home until he went to school. He started school at 3, and then when Corey came along, your mama watched him, and then when Michaela came along, that's when I went home. So
Yeah.
all of them were, either with a grandparent or aunt. They didn't have to go to daycare. I'd have to leave them crying.
And that's a blessing, yeah. But speaking of my mama, and we're talking a lot about her, Robbie's mama's still here. We're thankful for that. But stories of my mama that the memories I have, I remember she would let her grandkids, our kids, and my brother and my sister's kids, she would let those grandkids just
They didn't get on her nerves.
crawl all over. They take and brush your hair and whatever. Just they didn't.
We could leave Brian and Michaela, Corey and Gavin, and Carson, Seth. She'd have them all up there, and you'd go back, and it was like a tornado and noisy, but she'd be sitting out there in the chair like.
My dad'd be over there about to lose his mind, but my mom would be sitting there like it wasn't any big deal.
Yeah. He would be so happy when we got
Yeah,
back. But
she was like hating to see us come get the kids. He's like, yeehaw, praise the Lord, their mom and daddy's back. But that's some of the things about my mama, and a lot more. But for sake of time, I can't get into all of it. But I'm just saying, if you got your mother here, you need to cherish her. But if you don't, I hope you got some fond memories of when she was here. And I'm telling you,
my mama treats you like a.
Well, she does. I said that earlier when we had to start this thing over. But Robbie's mama, Miss Linda, she treats me like her own son. Always has from day one. And that's got a lot to do with, I think, because they know that they handed you over into good hands. I'm like Allstate.
You treat me good, they treat you good.
That's just true. So, but anyway, yeah, she's got a good mother, and she's still here with us. So, encourage you. Before we move on to it, the next thing I want to talk about, if you got your mother here, cherish her this coming Sunday and honor her. But I would like to say, that's kind of overrated from a standpoint that you should honor your mother every day of the year, not just on Mother's Day. Don't just see her on Mother's Day and don't have anything else to do with her, And I was guilty of that. And at the end, kind of the end of my mom's life, a lot of things going on with my own kids, special needs, surgeries and stuff, and I didn't get to see her and be around her as much as I wish I could have been. But even back when Bradley first had the kidney transplant, she was in the hospital with some issues. I couldn't go see her. A lot of my own family really didn't understand that, but Bradley didn't have any immune system, and I couldn't even go visit people in the church that were in the hospital or anything. Me being a pastor,
they told you to stay.
They told me to stay away from the hospitals because of sickness and disease and
really
germs.
Pretty much, we had this.
Pretty much worked and stayed at home because I couldn't take a chance to bring something home. And my mom understood that. A lot of other people didn't understand it. My mom understood it because her love for her grandson. So. But anyway, speaking of mothers, though, I would like to say, because I see it every day, day in and day out, but, all mothers have a great responsibility, but any mother that has a special needs kid, one, much less two or more, whether it's Down syndrome, deafness and blindness that we have here, or whatever the situation may be, they are really, you can't even explain what they deal with every day, and only God can help give them the strength and the courage to do what they do. I had a boss man one time that asked me, how did my wife and I get on the level of special needs kids and their needs, and then on the level with the two that don't have special needs. And that's a challenge at times, but God's given us the strength to do it because, and I don't want this to sound selfish or wrong, but I feel like sometimes if we're not careful, and sometimes it's happened that way, where because the two special needs kids take so much extra care and responsibility and us near them by their side so much to help them, sometimes in Corey and Gavin's lives, I feel like they kind of went without.
There's things that we didn't get to do with them because We couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, whether we didn't want to, we just couldn't because of our responsibility to the other two with special needs. So I would challenge anybody or encourage anybody to, you know, try to balance that if you have any special needs kids, or even if you got some maybe in one older and one in one state, one in, I don't know. There's just so many different scenarios, but that's one of those things about, like Paul said, I try to be all things to all people, and that's a challenge. And when he asked me that question, it kind of caught me off guard. I said, I really don't know. All I know is we do the best we can with what God has given us.
Well, we
failed at that sometimes.
But what we had to start doing was, I'd have to leave the two with you and go with the other two and do things, and
but still,
that's separated.
That's right. But still, that's not like, you know, a normal situation. But that's what we had to do. Is separate ourselves, and I would keep them, and she would go with them, or she would keep them, and I'd go with them. But that's just the way it was. But what I'm saying is, from her point of view, this is not anything about sympathy or pity, but it is what it is. I don't see how she does it. Sometimes that's one thing about our channel. We straight up at 6 o'clock, and you know, we're nothing fake about us. We try to be as real and true as we can, and raw emotions or whatever. But there've been times in my life that I've seen some of the things she's had to deal with Brad and Michaela, the special needs kids, that sometimes I think, Lord, is she gonna be there when I get home? I'm just be as honest as I can, because I'm telling you, it takes a special person to take care of special needs kids. And especially Michaela, she's you know, Bradley, he can communicate with a hearing aid, and he's more, you know, you can carry on a conversation with him, he can tell you what he wants and when it hurts and all that. But even though he's legally completely blind, but Michaela's never spoken a word in 20 years old. And you know, it's just I won't get into any details as far as that, but there's a lot of stuff.
I'm not potty trained.
Well, yeah, I didn't know if you was gonna say that or not, but she's not. In the daytime, she'll go back and forth to the bathroom like she's supposed to, but at night she don't. And
she's likely to have an accident anywhere. Sometimes we go in public, I'm real paranoid about taking her to people that don't know her condition, because she could have an accident anytime.
We're sharing this with y'all, not because, like I said, not because of sympathy and pity, but some of y'all talked about getting to know us better, and this is who we are. But our situation is different than a lot of people's situations. But we deal with it. But it is a challenge at times. So all we're really asking for is your prayers, and God to help us continue to do what we do. But see, I get away from it and go to work. You know, where I work a full-time job and I pastor the church. And Robert Lynn's full-time at home, so she's with it all the time. And again, we're not complaining. They're our children. God gave them to us. We take care of them. But that don't change the fact that it's not a challenge. Lots of times. I mean, we may go out in the yard when I'm home on Saturday, or if I'm off on Friday. We may go out and work in the garden, cut grass, go build a goat shed, or whatever we can do. And we'll feed them, and they can do their own thing. But you may come in, and especially Michaela, she's had an accident, and it could be a disaster. And that just changes everything. So
there was times when they were younger, I didn't want to take them anywhere, because
not that we were ashamed of them.
Everybody didn't understand them.
Yeah, not that we were ashamed of them by any means, but just everybody didn't understand.
Keep them right at home, where I could just keep my hands on them and control them.
Yeah, but as time went on, we seen that was better. We could get out with them, and we're gonna feature them on here. I would already have Bradley back on here, but his hearing aid's been messed up for a while, and we got it in repair shop now. So hopefully, once they get the hearing aid, because Bradley I could ask him some questions, and some of you have asked to see him on here more. And you know, Michaela, she can't talk. She's 20 years old, never spoke a word. And that's one thing, talking about mothers, that I know. Now I know that for a fact, you know, Robbie don't talk about it much, but I know she would love to hear Michaela say, "I love you, Mom," at least one time. But chances are, unless God changes something, she'll never hear that down here. But that's why I like to see You know, she's got nieces that interact with her. A lot of you ladies on here interact with her, and that y'all don't, y'all don't, I ain't saying you don't understand. Y'all don't even know how much that means to her when she gets feedback on this channel, because our family just got so much bigger when we started this YouTube channel, and it's just I can't explain the feeling. And I'm gonna talk about something at the end of this video I need y'all's help with, because I need your advice on. But before I get to that, you know, you're looking at a lady right here, and this is just, we had a few notes to start with that we read to y'all. This is just, she don't know what I might say, I don't know what she might say. This is just raw footage. But I am one blessed man to have a wife that takes care of all 4 of our kids, and the 5th one, I'm the 5th one, but all 4 of our kids like she does. Because we go to visit other churches, she has to take like a pee pad with Michaela to put down to make sure she don't mess up anybody's pews. You know, I mean, she's not a terror, but she's, you know, she's just unpredictable. That'd be a good word.
And she can be a terror at home.
Yeah, mainly at home.
If she gets mad, she starts throwing stuff.
She does, but you have to remember something though, and I know you do.
That's her way to express herself.
That's the only way she can express herself. Bite that bottom lip, maybe throw something across the room. But then there's other times she just is loving and caring as all get out. So I just want to throw that in there because of talking about mothers, the value or the net worth of a mother. You can't put a price tag on it. And then when you go on to the next level of a mom really having to sacrifice, we don't get to go to the places everybody else goes sometimes. People in our family don't even understand. So why don't you, let's go do this? Well, it takes a lot for Robin and I to load up all of them and go and bring stuff with us that they may have to have. We may have, Bradley, he had a mini stroke before he was born, and we have to take a wheelchair. He can't walk very well. He got braces on his legs, but there's so much. And again, please don't think we're complaining, because we're not. We're grateful, because there's 2 sides to that. There's that side when it's a real responsibility, it's a challenge, and sometimes it just feels like it drives you crazy, and we're just being honest we can be. Then there's other sides when Michaela's so nice and sweet, and it's rewarding. Bradley, I can go in there and, you know, I can draw a lot of strength from that boy. And go in there and he's talking about the Lord, or he remembers everybody's birthdays, and he's just happy-go-lucky about it all the time. So, and when somebody wants us to anoint somebody in church for them or their family member, they always go, they don't want to anoint me, they don't want to anoint her, they don't want to anoint Bradley and Corey and Gavin. They don't want to anoint Bradley or Michaela, especially Bradley, because they got probably the most pure soul as anybody in our church, purest heart. And well, we may anoint them in behalf of somebody else. But it's good and bad. Not bad, but it's good and a challenge.
I pray that the Lord help me serve my children with a happy heart. I know there's times I get upset, and I feel bad after I get upset. I get mad at myself for getting upset.
But you're human,
yeah.
You know.
But I feel guilty when I do get upset. But I just have to keep praying.
I thought they went off, so yeah.
Have to keep praying to God to give me strength and a happy heart while I'm serving my children and my husband.
Well, there's no way that you do what you do or we do what we do without God. No way.
No, some nights when I crawl in bed, I wonder how in the world I made it through today.
Yeah. And again, this is not.
Well, that's for anybody can have, you know.
Yeah, everybody has tough days sometimes. But all we ask you guys and gals to do is pray for us. And again, I appreciate the feedback, but I really appreciate it when you give her feedback. And she never, you know, ask for anything like that. But I love it when she gets feedback, because I know what most people don't know about what she deals with on a daily basis. And she keeps what's that country song? She keeps the home fire burning while I'm out working.
What's that sign I got on my dresser there?
Oh.
Can't remember what it says. But there's one saying I got off of I forgot where I got it from. Anyway, it says you're having a bad day, put your hair up in a bun, get you some coffee and deal with it.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
This is the one she's
That's
talking
what
about.
I have to do a lot of times.
My secret is simple. I pray. That's on her dresser in our bedroom. Her secret is simple. She prays. So
That's the only way to get through
that's
it.
the only way to get through it. So just wanted to share that
That's
with
with
y'all.
life in general, when, any situation.
Any situation where you got special needs kids or not. But to wrap this up, again, y'all wouldn't believe it if I told you, but making this video, the camera stopped. Well, I think it's a setting that we got to figure out. It goes so many minutes and then it'll stop, and it's probably a setting on here. But anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this so far. But the last thing I want to talk about was actually two things. I can't express enough. We're getting lots of comments on here, and we talked a while back about some of the bigger channels you comment on, they don't comment back. I don't even give you a heart, and like I said, we're not murmuring and complaining, but I can't believe I didn't figure I'd get, a couple hundred people, but about it now it's over 1,600, and I'm so grateful for that. But I don't worry about that, and I hope the number continues to grow. I know I have one subscriber on here, so I hope they don't get too big, and I know what you're saying, that don't get too big and forget y'all, forget what come from. But I'm telling you, you can ask Robbie. I light up when I get a comment. I love feedback.
Well, you know how good it makes you feel when you comment on somebody's and they comment back.
Yeah.
So that makes you want to comment back.
Absolutely. I'll send her something, and like she did when celebrating Appalachia, when Miss Tipper responded back to her, she's like, "Hey, look who I got! Look who responded to me today." Miss Lori at Whippoorwill Holler, she responded back to my comment that I made on her video, and I screenshot it and sent it to Robin and said, look here, man, I'm famous. But I'm just saying, things like that mean a lot to you, and I try to do that. Not that I don't know if I make people feel that way or not, but I like to comment back. If you take the time to watch our video, if you take the time to comment, I feel like I need to take the time to comment back and give you a heart, thumbs up, whatever. So that means a lot to me. But what I'm getting at about the channel, and before I get away from that, the same way, a lot of you, y'all send stuff, enjoyed the message, enjoyed the walk around, enjoyed this, enjoyed that, Pastor, and then say, hello, Miss Robbie Lynn. Let Miss Robbie Lynn know. That makes her feel so good, and that makes me feel good. And that brings me to the final point I want to talk about. When I first started this channel, it was, I'm not saying it's all about me, like look at me. It was supposed to be about my channel. That's why I went with the Homestead and Pastor as the name of it, because it's going to be mainly devotions and stuff. Just because she wasn't a camera person. And y'all just don't know the miracle God has performed for her to even be talking on camera, be sitting here with me right now, and y'all can be able to watch her.
He threatened me.
No, I did not. I did not. You just got to talk about a trustworthy woman. But anyway, now that she's more involved in it, and it's her cooking videos, the homestead, the devotions, and the devotions that's still the number one thing, because that's what we started on. Christ is going to be at the center, at the front of this channel. But now that she's joined me so much, I want your opinion and your advice on what you really think. Don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I need to hear. Tell me your honest thoughts. But I'm thinking about or considering changing the name of the channel. Either change it altogether to, we live here on Harmony Acres Homestead. I thought about changing it to Harmony Acres Homestead. Y'all let me know you think be wise or a good idea or not a good idea for me to change from the Homestead and Pastor to Harmony Acres Homestead, or would it be wise to say the Homestead and Pastor / Harmony Acres Homestead? That seems like a lot to me, but I don't know. I'm not saying I'm going to do it either one way or the other, but I'm thinking about that. I'm pondering that in my mind. I need your feedback on whether you think we should change the channel name, keep everything like it is, nothing, the content all stay the same, or leave the name like it is. So I like any feedback I can get on that. And again, we just appreciate you here at Harmony Acres Homestead, and hope you enjoyed this. Come sit a spell. we're gonna wrap it up because, like I said, this thing's cut off a couple times. Robin's got to figure out what the setting is to get it changed so it'll record for a longer period of time. Give us feedback on the whole video about mothers. Appreciate you praying for her, praying for myself, but giving her the feedback that she gets, and it really means a lot to us. So let me know what you think about the channel name. Leave it alone, change it. Just let me know what you think. I'm gonna pray about it mainly, but I'll probably go with the majority on what people think we should do. So, and our email's on there on the about us. If you want to send me an email, if you don't want to talk about it on here, send me an email. But I'd like to know what your thoughts are. So until next time, remember, Jesus Christ loves you, and Jesus Christ is the answer for any and everything you're dealing with in life. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of this week, and I hope all you mothers have a great Mother's Day. Bye-bye.